Autism Awareness Month, and in conjunction with that, we are hosting a special call for tonight with volunteers from the autism community. If you have questions about the symptoms, the diagnosis, treatment, or of autism, now is the time to call. We have doctors, counselors, and other experts here to answer your questions tonight. Call 821-4444 right now to speak to someone. The lines are open until 8 p.m. tonight. And tonight at 7, we are hosting another installment of the... If you have any questions about the symptoms, diagnosis, or treatment of autism, now is the time to call. We have doctors, counselors, and other experts here to answer your questions. Call 821-4444 right now to speak to someone. The lines are open until 8 p.m. tonight.
The NBC4
a.m. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Mikhail. Again, April is Autism Awareness Month, and in conjunction with that, we're hosting a special call for tonight with volunteers from the autism community. And if you have any questions about the symptoms, the diagnosis, or the treatment of autism, now is the time to call.
We have doctors, counselors, other experts here to answer your questions. Again, that number 821-4444. You can talk to someone right now. The lines will be open until 8, and they're open that late because we have our autism specialist, we said, coming up with...
Welcome to our latest installment of the Autism Puzzle. I'm Jared Smalley. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening, and what a show we have planned for you. Over the next hour, we'll be discussing all sorts of issues related to autism, and we encourage your participation in that effort. The phone number is on your screen right now. Dial it up. 821-4444 is the local number. Feel free to give us a call. We have experts from the Ohio State University, from Easter Seals tonight, from Ocala. Fine representatives who will be able to take your questions on the subject of autism. We also have our call for and our chat available, our web chat at NBC4i.com. Go to the homepage. You can sign in and register and talk with numerous autism experts from the Central Ohio community. We're here to serve you this evening. Any questions you have, feel free to bring them our way. A lot of great stories to share with you here in the next hour ahead, and we appreciate you joining us here tonight. And we'd like to add a special thank you to Representative McGregor for talking with us. We contacted numerous representatives who had voted no on House Bill 8, who denied our request for interviews or simply did not return calls. So we definitely want to give him an acknowledgement here. Also want to acknowledge our good friend Barb Dvorak. She is the Executive Director of the Autism Society of Ohio. She partners with us in this series. Barb, first of all, thrilled to have you back.
Thank you.
And secondly, this bill has been such a passionate purpose for you all at AS. So tell me about the efforts that you all are making to further this bill.
Well, we're working at the state level, but we cannot do it alone. We need grassroots support, so we need advocates that are out there that are willing to talk to their legislators this summer while the General Assembly is in recess to talk about House Bill 8, to talk about autism issues, to educate their legislators about autism, to make the legislators aware that this is something that they need to pass and make it a huge issue with them through the campaign and through the next session.
While we're talking, I do want to mention our call for lines are open and our web chat is open as well at NBC4i.com. Certainly welcome to give your questions about insurance coverage a listen and a view here. Our phone number is also available here at Call 4 and NBC4i.com, as I said earlier, 821-4444. Now, Barb, people talk about getting people involved. How do people get involved with this process?
It's really easy. They can contact the Autism Society. We have what we call our Ohio Autism Advocacy Network. They can send their name, address, and phone number to our email, askaso@autismohio.org. They can go to our advocacy website, which is autismohioadvocates.org, and find out who their legislators are and get information from us. Our website has information on House Bill 8, so you can use all of that information to talk to their legislators.
One quick point here. We pointed out in the piece there that several other states, 17 states around the country, have passed this legislation or similar legislation, including Pennsylvania, Kentucky. You mentioned Indiana as well. What are some of the differences maybe where the states in other neighboring states have been successful in that effort? What have they done so well?
So I think some of the things they've done is looked at, what is the opposition to the bill, and then worked on compromises. In some of the bills there is an age limit. In some of the bills there is a dollar amount cap, small business exemptions, and certainly we may have to consider some of those as we move forward with this bill.
And the most important thing is that it's something that everybody can agree upon, and it's going to be a process for sure. We're not expecting anything maybe even before the new year.
No, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. So everybody needs to understand the legislation is a process, but we need them to be contacting their legislators to talk up this issue.
Barb, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Barb will be here throughout the evening. If you have a question for Barb, you can certainly, she will be in our web chat portion of our discussion here this evening, so thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now, one of the biggest complaints we've heard from parents is the amount of time it takes to get an actual autism diagnosis. Some kids get it from a psychologist, others from a clinic, maybe like Children's Hospital or Nisonger Center here in town. Some parents say they were on a wait list for 18 months or more before getting in to see the proper specialist, and that's crucial because you need a diagnosis to qualify for many therapies. Perhaps those days of long wait lists are coming to an end now.
Does he flap his hand?
Or make sure that we're getting good feedback about what they're doing in school. So it's been a really good partnership.
And we talked earlier, we mentioned earlier in the show about the wait time for parents to get a diagnosis for their child, and you all have done a good job of cutting that down.
Right, at Children's we had a big quality improvement.
Look at the top available therapies for children on the autism spectrum, what experts say works best.
You know, Tommy Lee was speaking in that piece about famous African Americans who have a connection to autism. We can add another one to that list. Holly Robinson Peete, her husband, former NFL quarterback Rodney Peete, they have a son who has an autism diagnosis as well. So certainly prevalent among all communities. We encourage you to check in with us via our phone lines here at our Call 4 headquarters. 821-4444 is the phone number. We've been hearing all sorts of questions here this evening, and it's typical of what we've heard in the past from parents and grandparents about looking for those early warning signs for an autism diagnosis. And of course, the main piece is communication and eye contact. Or what sorts of types of communication, verbal, nonverbal communication pieces. Our web chat is also going strong tonight. A very crowded room in there, but there's plenty of room for you. Log on to NBC4i.com. You can click on the live chat banner on the homepage there. It takes just a few moments to sign in, and you'll be instantly connected to our experts from Ocala, from Nisonger Center, and from Easter Seals here this evening. We hope you're enjoying the program. Much more coming up right after this. Conversation with the group from Aspirations, and we're going to continue that conversation in our next edition of the Autism Puzzle. We'll join you the evening of June 23rd, another Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll continue that conversation with that group. I just thought it was fascinating to hear their opinions on a firsthand account of what life is like with autism. We're joined now by Lynn Tremontano. Lynn joins us from Prudential Financial, and we talked earlier in the show.
Know where they're going to find the money scenario, but as far as the specific therapies, it would be, you know, right now without the with the health bill, it's really out of their own pockets, and that's what the frustration is. But when we're talking about parents and how they're going to continue providing their quality of life issues, such as those therapies after their passing, this is a real challenge for families too. So finding the
4444 is our call for hotline numbers via the phone. 821-4444 is our call for hotline numbers. We have plenty of folks standing by to answer your questions. Lynn, one quick thing, you know, we've said this overused term time and again, in this economy. Well, in this economy, what's the best thing that a parent can do when they're trying to find that extra dollar to save for their child's therapy?
Wow, you know, it really is an analysis of where their money, how their money is coming in, and how.
We welcome you back inside our Call 4 studios here at NBC4, and our phone lines have been busy throughout the past hour, and we encourage you to call with your questions concerning autism and autism awareness. The phone number is 821-4444. Our assistant from Easter Seals, from Ocala, from Nisonger Center at The Ohio State University, and our web chat is going strong as well. NBC4i.com. You go to the homepage, you can log in there. It takes just a few seconds, and you are in. And you are instantly connected to experts from the field of autism throughout Central Ohio. Some of our friends, again, from Nisonger Center, Prudential. You saw Lynn earlier this evening. We appreciate so much your efforts in making this series a long-lasting effort here from NBC4. Much more show ahead. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll be here past 8 o'clock even if you need to contact us here. Much more when we return right after this.